All right, what's poppin', ninjas? Welcome to day 17 of streaming live every day for the month of December. I'm your host, Rob Based. If you guys are new here, I am an author, dating and relationship coach for Asian guys, and a content creator, and I guess recently turned streamer. I'm putting together a catalog for you guys. All right, and it's so that you guys can get up to speed with all of your relationship dating dynamic information, so that aren't confused when you guys are out there and about trying to figure out whether or not this girl in front of you is worth your time or whatever, okay? Um, I'm gonna be covering all kinds of different topics in the new year because I want you guys, obviously up to speed and caught up to kind of like where my head is at so that I don't have to repeat myself when I'm talking about certain dynamics when it comes to the sexual marketplace. All right. So I really want you guys to get caught up. This is sort of like my Christmas gift to you guys because it's basically a mini course. I would charge money for this kind of thing. And other people would charge money for this as well. I mean, people always say the game is meant to be sold, not told. But here I am. All right. I'm going to tell you guys everything I know. Okay. So you guys can crush it out there in the dating marketplace. All right, and actually get some success with women. We all know it's a struggle for Asian guys out there. So let's not continue on with that trend, okay? And let's level up together and make it cool for girls to date Asian guys again, okay? And let them be proud. All right, with that being said, I'm not going to be asking for a single cent on this journey. All I'm asking for you to do is like the video on your way out, all right? Subscribe, tell a friend, because it's word of mouth referrals that are going to help this channel out, okay? As I don't think the things that I talk about here are going to be algorithm friendly, if you guys know what I mean. Okay. And if I do get canceled, you guys can find me on Rumble as well. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about vetting. Okay. This is most likely going to be a part one for the dating talking stage. And then I'll probably do a part two for those of you guys, thinking about making it official with a woman. Okay. So in a nutshell, a dating talking stage should be about 6 months minimum, okay, before you even think about making it official with her. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you guys are going to have to check for while you guys are in this stage together, okay? There's a handful here. I'm obviously not going to go through them all because I'm trying to keep these streams nice and short and concise to the point so you guys can binge my other content and just try to get up to speed, okay? And we'll dive in deeper on these topics later on, okay? But I'll go through the more important ones, all right? Another thing you guys should really hammer into your head is you should never ask for the relationship, okay? It should be her, right? It should be her coming to you with the, so what are we question, okay? If you ask this to her, it's a wrap, okay? You lost the frame. And that's number one, okay? That's the most important thing, okay? Is holding frame. It's not your looks, it's not your money, it's not your status. It's do you have frame within this relationship, okay? Meaning, do you hold the title of the adored? Does she adore you more than you adore her? All right? If you tell her to delete or private her Instagram, does she do it? Okay. If you tell her you don't want her going out with the girls, on Halloween or whatever, does she oblige? Okay. Or if you tell her that you don't want her posting half naked photos of yourself on the internet, does she say okay? And does she delete them for you? Okay. That is frame. If you don't have this, then that means she has it. And that means she wears the pants in the relationship. All right. And 10 times out of 8, if she wears the pants, then she will lead you to the end of that relationship. Okay. It's not going to end well for you, bud. And I say that with all due respect. Okay. If you become a little lapdog, she not only doesn't respect you, it's going to be impossible for her to be in love with you. Okay. She does not have that bone in her body to love a man she doesn't respect. Okay. If you're a pushover, she's only going to put up with you for a little while until she gets sick of it. Okay. And then she's going to switch up on you. All right. She's going to leave you. She's going to cheat on you, or she's going to get with a man who's going to lead her in that relationship because, that's what women all crave. Okay. A woman isn't built to lead relationships for the long haul. Okay. She can do it for a little bit, but eventually she's going to get sick of it. Okay. Because Like, this is not what women crave in long-term relationships, okay? It's just something you have to really hammer home and get it through your head, okay? 1 second here. Sorry, just making sure that my audio is okay, because yesterday's stream, it kind of got all weird, and I might have to redo yesterday's stream. But anyway, all right. So the most important thing you guys have to do to make sure when you're vetting a woman, okay, is how well does she fall into your frame? And it all starts in the beginning, okay? It's important to not overlook these little things that I'm going to talk about, because if you write them off, I guarantee you in the future you're going to have a lot more problems, okay? Current behavior is indicative of future behavior, meaning what she does now is who she probably is, okay? And that's not going to change. So you have to read her at the beginning, because it's going to save you headaches down the road, okay? And I'm going to talk about certain women that you shouldn't get involved with, okay? All right. Number one, you don't want to get with a woman who is disagreeable with you, okay? Or just disagreeable in general. It's more of a masculine thing to be disagreeable, okay? If you guys know anything about the Big Five personality test, it's a metric that clinical psychologists and psychiatrists use to assess their clients. And what researchers have found is that women tend to score higher on the agreeableness scale than men do. And why that is important is because, well, when you say, hey, babe, let's go get some Italian food. I've been craving some fettuccine carbonara or whatever. Okay. And she's going to respond, okay, hun, I'd love to. Right. As opposed to a woman who's going to be like, oh, why are we going for Italian? Let's go eat something else. I've had too much pasta this week, or whatever. That woman is disagreeable. Okay. And this is not the only thing that she's going to fight you over, okay? It starts with the food, and then when you guys get into a serious relationship, it'll be about how you spend money, how you parent, etc., all right? And all of these things are going to lead to breakups down the road, all right? Especially when you get fed up with her constantly disagreeing with you all the time, all right? Or she's always suggesting the way that you do things is not, up to par with how she wants to do things, all right? Trust me, boys, like, you don't want to get into a relationship with a woman who is extremely disagreeable or self-centered, okay? And when you catch these things early on, you're going to save yourself that headache later down the road, like I said, all right? Because, when more serious things come up, you don't want that headache, okay? And this is coming from a really deeply rooted issue that definitely goes beyond you, so don't take it personal, okay? She probably grew up in a household where she doesn't respect her father, or her father was very passive, and her mom, probably railroaded all of his decisions, and she's used to having women be in charge around her, so it's carried on through her adulthood, okay? It could be a combination of all or some of those things, okay? But to take it one step further, she might have been in a relationship with a guy who kind of led her astray. She gave, all the power and authority to him, and then, he just wasn't a good leader. And so she has just trust issues in general with letting guys lead relationships, okay? Either way, you don't want to deal with a woman with these types of issues, okay? You want a healthy woman who has dealt with her problems, understood where, the root cause of things were, and she's, accountable for it, and she's working on it, or she's already healed and ready to like enter a healthy relationship with you the right way, okay? So this is why at the beginning I like to ask her about her relationship with her family, particularly like with her dad, okay? Like, you want to ask certain questions at the beginning and figure out whether or not she has a good relationship with her dad, or if she grew up in a messed up household, because it will tell you a lot about where she gets her behavior from, okay? So that's number one, guys, all right? A number two thing that you guys have to look out for, and this is something that I ask usually like either on the first, second, third dates or whatever, when you start to like, all the walls start to come down a little bit, and she's like, comfortable with being vulnerable with you and open and honest, right? Then you can start asking her for like, things like, what kind of influencers or role models did you have growing up, or who do you follow now? Like, who do you admire, right? These things, right? Because these things will lead you to figure out whether, like, where her mind is at, pretty much, okay? And obviously, if she's following a bunch of like feminist chicks, you basically know it's a wrap right there, okay? She's already gone down that rabbit hole and definitely has a low regard for men, because that's what those girls talk about on a day-to-day basis. Like, men ain't shit, women this, women that, men this, men that. And she's basically already exposed to all that rhetoric that these feminist chicks will spew, okay? So that is another big indicator that you guys have to kind of figure out. And like usually, like, when you guys exchange social medias or whatever, you can kind of do this research on your own, right? Just like seeing like the types of people that she follows, and so on and so forth. Okay. Um, Number three, another big indicator, okay, of whether or not she's gone down the wrong path or not, is her job, right? Like if she works, particularly in like, the beauty industry, or maybe she's an influencer herself, okay, or she has her own like nail salon, or she owns like basically, if she's her own boss, okay, it's almost guaranteed that she's a boss babe type of thing, all right? And she looks at men as beneath her. She can't trust men to do the things that um she needs, because she's done it all herself. So she's like highly independent, and basically doesn't need a man in her life, okay? She just wants a man, all right? Those kinds of things will tell you whether or not a girl is open to being a partner in a committed relationship. Because if you're hyper independent and you have your own business or whatever, like chances are she's way more masculine than the average chick, okay? And most of these girls who have these, I guess, like these types of jobs or whatever, they're in their masculine all day, and it's very rare that when they come home, they're going to leave all that at the door and continue to be a woman, and drop down to her feminine. It's almost impossible, okay? um so just try to stay away from girls like that, and do your homework a little bit about these kinds of things, okay? It's really important. um if she listens to like Taylor Swift or Cardi B or any of these like female boss babes or whatever, or she's like into like Korean dramas, and idolizes like K-pop stars and shit like that, like that's another indicator that she probably doesn't value men. Because like these girls, they truly think that men need to be there to service them, okay? Because all of like the influences that I just talked about, like they remind her of this, okay? It's because all of these plugged in blue pill beta males, right? They solidify this idea for her in her mind by watching these guys letting the women walk all over them, right? And she's going to be like, well, why can't you be more like this guy, right? Like he's like this to his girlfriend, right? And it's because like that guy just lets women walk all over him, and he doesn't have a backbone, right? So she's going to constantly compare you to their husbands, or their simp boyfriends or whatever, okay? It's better to be alone than to deal with these girls in the long term, okay? Trust me. um but what do I always say? You can definitely smash, right? If you're not going to take them seriously for the long term, smash and dash, okay? It's hard to find women who don't fall into these categories these days, though, okay? But, you know, just remind yourself, you're going to have to keep trying until you do, all right? It's honestly better to not get involved romantically with these chicks, because it's just only going to make you resent her, and then you're going to resent yourself for not listening to yourself, okay? So don't bother with these types of chicks, all right? So, is she agreeable? Green flag. Does she respect her dad? Green flag. Does she have a normal job? Green flag. Does she avoid mainstream media and music and those female boss babes? Major green flag. All right. The last thing I want you guys to be aware of when you're out there dating and figuring out whether or not a girl is worth your time is, does her future dreams and ambitions match yours? Okay. So whether you want to have kids or not, you're gonna have to figure this out for yourself, obviously, first before you go out there, right? Date with some intention, okay? But ask yourself, do your goals align? Can you see the future working well together? Okay, this is another major green flag that you need to kind of assess before you take things any further with this girl, right? The worst is wasting time with a chick whose future doesn't align with yours. Like, for example, like if you want kids and she doesn't, like that's a major waste of time. Unless obviously you're there just to like, keep things recreational, then that's cool, right? But I'm saying like if you are tired of that and you are dating with some sort of intention and you want to look for a girl to start a family with and shit, right? These kinds of things are important, okay? And it's better to dig this out early than figure out later on that, oh shit, she actually doesn't want to have kids and you just wasted like 6 months with this chick, okay? Don't do that. Easiest way to figure this out obviously is just to ask her, okay? Like, it's that famous job question, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? Like, don't make it sound like a job question, okay? Or like a job interview, all right? So one of the ways that I like to ask this question is like, look, if I had a magic wand and I can wave it and grant you a perfect life, what do you see yourself doing? What does that life look like for you? Okay? And then she'll get to thinking like, wow, I never really thought about that, but now that I think about it, this is what I want to do, right? And usually you'll get to see whether or not her ambitions align with yours, okay? And so on and so forth, all right? So just make sure that obviously your future aligns with hers, okay? So there's a little nuance here that I want you guys to understand, okay? Everything that I talked about today is just for compatibility purposes only, okay? There's two things you need to have in a good, healthy working relationship, okay? It's chemistry and compatibility. Chemistry is how well you guys vibe off each other, and obviously if you guys are sexually attracted to each other, okay? These are all like the chemicals and the hormones that, I'm not really going to get into this stream. I'll obviously save that for another stream. But today, all I'm really talking about is the compatibility side, okay? Most of this stuff has to do with like, does she fall into your frame? Does she trust you to lead? Is she willing to please you and make you happy? Also make you the focus of the relationship. If everything is good on the chemistry side and then everything is good on the compatibility side, then you have a winner, okay? You have the foundation for a good relationship. And it would be wise for you to check for these things before making things official, okay? Like don't just blindly go into these kinds of things without really doing your due diligence, okay? Because one of the most important things that you're going to do is figure out the person that you're going to marry or be in a long-term relationship with, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, one girl can fuck up your whole entire life, okay? So you really do need to take this shit seriously, okay? And obviously this could take months. People put on acts at the beginning, but that veneer is going to wear off so quick, okay? So you definitely need to be patient and constantly check to see if like what she's saying to you, like what she tells you, is actually who she is. Okay, because women can sell a dream too, all right? It's not just guys that do this all the time, all right? Like if you have high enough value, she might sell you a dream as well, all right? So don't fall for it, okay? And so that's why I say you should date a chick for like minimum 6 months, okay? To even a year even, okay? Before you start, taking her serious for a long-term relationship, okay? And obviously, in the meantime, you should always have options, okay, to replace her if you need to, because like I said, some of these chicks they'll sell you a dream, and then that veneer wears off, okay, and then she gets tired of like putting on an act, and then you start to see her real true self come up, and then you have to be able to be like, all right, you know what, get out, I can't deal with this anymore, all right, I wish you the best, but no hard feelings, but there's the door, okay. So don't get caught up with just one chick. If anything, it's definitely wise to date multiple girls and basically let the cream rise to the top, okay? She has to win your affection. So definitely remember that, okay? And yeah, like if a woman falls off, that's basically her loss, okay? You don't go chase her and all that other bullshit, right? This is why I tell you, like, you need to constantly work hard and make your value so high that these girls can see it without even you saying anything, right? Like I always say, demonstrate, don't explicate. Okay. And that alone will make her work hard to keep you in her life. Okay. Otherwise, you're just dealing with a time waster and a professional resource extractor. Okay. Don't let these girls rob you of your money, your energy, your time, or attention. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. I got nothing left for this stream. If you guys made it this far, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you already haven't. And I'll see you guys back here, same time, same channel. Rob Bass signing off. Peace.